AJ.
It looks like they're going to Orion because they're in a like a motion of going in the air.
Okay. If you're very good. If you're following someone, are you staying still or are you moving?
Moving.
Good. And why would it look like they're moving through the sky? Raise your hand, Oscar.
Cause
We read it in the last paragraph. We said that.
we see different parts of space as Earth revolves around the sun.
Good, because the Earth is revolving on the sun. It's moving, so we're seeing. It looks like the dogs are following Orion. Alexis, go ahead to the bathroom. All right. Very good. What I have up here in the front of the classroom, Ms. Williams, could you hit the lights for me? I have a picture of, well, not a picture, but a diagram of Orion. Now, this doesn't have the dogs, but this is what the constellation of Orion looks like. It looks just like this. Now, when they're looking like, when it's like this, we can't really see too much going on, right? They just look like a bunch of stars. But when we connect them, it might be kind of hard to see. When we connect them, it looks like a person. It looks like a hunter. Over here is his bow, and over here is his body. This is his the shorts. This is his chest, and this is his arms. He just doesn't have a head. And right here is Orion's belt. These three stars right here. Many of you may have looked in the sky at nighttime and saw Orion's belt. It's three stars that are in a row. They're kind of diagonal. When you go, yep. When you guys are home at night tonight, ask your parents if they can take you outside when the stars are out and look for Orion's belt, because and that's how you'll be able to find Orion. The first thing you want to look for is his belt, because they're just three stars that are in a diagonal line. And then you can kind of see the rest of Orion. Now, remember what I said, Orion is a hunter, so that's why he has a little bow and arrow right here.
That's actually a shield. Yeah.
Oh, is it a shield? You know what? You're right.
Oh, he has a jacket.
It is a shield, I'm sorry. Very good. Okay, keep your light back on.
Oh my gosh, this looks like a knife.
All right, so that is the constellation Orion. Now, what I want you guys to do, you guys are going to be in your groups, and we're going to make a constellation book. So, what I want you guys to do is we're going to do the first one all together so that you guys know what you're doing, and then you guys are going to work in your groups to make a constellation book. Okay? So, this is my example. What constellation do you think that I did, class?
Orion.
Orion. I did Orion. So, I have a book, and on the front, I wrote Orion by Mrs. Dampf. You guys are going to write by Richard, Kayla, AJ, Salvin, and Tyler, or by your group, okay? On the inside, I drew my constellation. And I'm going to tell each of your groups what the constellation that you have is, and there's going to be a picture up here for you to draw it. On this side, I have to do some research. I want to find out the story of Orion, because I made a mistake. I thought that it was a bow and arrow, but you were right, because you knew that it was a shield. So I have to do some research. I want to find out why that star is named Orion. Because I wouldn't know that he was a hunter by just looking at it. I want to find out the history. So, how you're going to do that, some of you guys in your groups are going to be assigned to be the researcher. Let's hit the lights one more time. So, if your job is the researcher, let's see, is it easier one? I can get it two. No, that's important, huh? Okay, if your job is the researcher, what you're going to do is, when you get assigned your star, I want you to go to www.google.com. In the search bar, I want you to type in history of, and for me it's going to be Orion constellation. Okay, now all these different websites are going to come up. And I'm going to kind of just look at the title and look at the little font under it and decide which one looks like it's going to have the best information. right, and you can choose another one to look at. So, what I want you to do is you're going to go back to the computers with a partner. So one person is going to be on the computer, and one person is going to be the note taker. So you're going to take notes for the rest of the group so you can tell them what you learned. Now, if you had Orion, and this was your history, what would you write down as a note? Taylor, go ahead and read for me the first paragraph.
There are two different versions of the Orion myth, depending on the identity of his parents. The first of these identifies the sea god Neptune as Orion's father and the great hunter queen Ariel of Amazons as his mother. Orion inherited her talent and became the greatest hunter in the world. Unfortunately for him, with his
immense strength came an immense ego.
And he boasted that he could best any animal on earth. In response to his
Vanity,
a single small
scorpion.
scorpion stung him and killed him.
Very good. So, we just read that there's actually two versions of the myth behind the constellation Orion. This was the first one. So, it says that in the first myth, it says that the sea god Neptune is Orion's dad, and the great huntress queen Ariel of the Amazons is his mother. So his dad was a god of the ocean, and his mom was the queen of the Amazons. Orion inherited her talent and became the greatest hunter in the world. Unfortunately for him, with his immense strength came an immense ego. What's an ego? Class, what does it mean if you have a big ego? Yes, Jordan.
It means that you're always boasting.
Good. It means you're always boasting. You're always showing off. You think you're so cool and you're the best. That's what an ego is. Orion inherited talent and became the greatest hunter in the world. Unfortunately for him, with his immense strength came an immense ego, and he boasted that he could best any animal on earth. In response to his vanity, a single small scorpion stung him and killed him. So, if your job is the note taker, you would bring a piece of paper back to the computer, and you're going to write notes. And you could say, your first point could be there are two versions. And remember, if you're just taking notes, you don't have to write every single word out. You can just write the number 2, so you can do it quickly. Okay? Then you're going to have version number 1. His mother was queen of hunters. His father, class, what was his father?
The king of the
Father was king of ocean. Someone raise your hand and tell me what could your next point be. What is it? Good. Orion was a great hunter. What would our next point be? What was Orion's personality? AJ?
His ego, because he got the best hunter in the world.
Good. He had a big ego. And what would our last point be? Casey, what would the last point be? What was the last thing that happened in that story? Good. A little tiny baby scorpion bit him. The babies are the most poisonous. A baby scorpion bit and killed him. Boys and girls, remember that as I'm taking the notes, I didn't write exactly what it wrote on here. I put everything in my own words. Hands down for just a second. I'll let you do that in just a minute, okay? All right, so that's going to be your job as a note taker. The next thing we would do is we would look at the second version, and you would take notes on that. After you finish taking your notes and doing your research, you're going to come join your table, and you're going to discuss with them the information that you found. And everybody is going to write a 4 to 5 sentence paragraph inside explaining the background of your constellation, explaining the event or the animal that your constellation is about. Hands down for just a minute. raise your hand if you have any questions about the research and note-taking. Yes, Jordan? Okay, don't worry about that. Just if you have a question about the research or the note-taking. Okay. Now, the other members of the group are going to be working on another project. They're going to be working on A, you're going to be drawing your constellation inside, and B, you're going to be constructing your constellation from marshmallows. If you're researching, when you come back and you share your information, then you'll be able to make a marshmallow version too, okay? So everyone will get a chance to do it. Okay, my example is this. Let's see. Okay, this is my marshmallow model of Orion. Okay, so as you can see, whoops, hang on, mine's upside down. All right, so this is Shield. This is his bottom, this is his top, and this is his arms right here. Okay, it's just like it is up there. So you guys are going to use toothpicks and marshmallows, and you're going to construct your constellation. Okay, so that's what everyone's going to be working on. When your research team comes back, if you are at your table working on your marshmallows, it's now time to be writing. Okay, you have until your research team finishes researching and comes back to finish your model and to finish drawing. When the research team comes back, they're going to share with you what they discovered, and they're going to then work on the marshmallows while you work on developing the paragraph. Okay? Oscar, can you explain to the class exactly what I just said? Can you repeat what we're going to do?
She says that one person will be the person who will go on the computer and search for facts about your constellation, and the other one will be the one that writes the information, and
Good.
the rest of the group will stay and work on your constellation.
Good. And then when the research group comes back, what happens? What does the research team do or say?
They give all the information they found.
Good. And then what do the people that were working on their marshmallows do?
They start on their constellation.
Nope. They start taking the notes and putting them into a paragraph.
Oh.
Okay? And then the people that were researching, they begin working on their marshmallows and drawing their constellation. Okay? Does everybody understand?
Yeah.
Do we have any questions?
No.
Okay. If you are at this part of your table, so this is Akeem, Joelle, Lisa, and Richard, you are going to be the researcher. If you are in this spot on your table, which is Isis, Amaya, Alexis, and Kayla, you are going to be the note takers. The rest of you guys will be working on your marshmallows and your drawings. Okay? And you guys will then be the people that work on the paragraphs. Okay? So, let me see. I love how this table is quietly waiting. So, researcher and note taker, go ahead back to the computer. And let me give you guys your constellations. I'm sorry. Okay. Table is right here. I don't know your table number. One. Table number 1. You guys are going to be the constellation Libra. And the constellation Libra looks like this one. Okay? This table is Ursa Minor. And you guys are going to draw that one. This table is Pisces. And this table is the Big Dipper. Okay? So that's what you guys will be working on. So, let me have Lisa, Richard, Joelle, and Akeem go ahead